In this episode of Paw Prints, we're headed over to Village Vet Centre in Walton to help a parrot who has had an accident with an electric circuit breaker. We're also going over to Dogs Trust to teach some dogs some new tricks, as well as visiting Freshfields Animal Rescue to meet some new feline friends. But first, Alan has some slithery patients over at a surgery.
My name's Alan Humphreys at Village Vet Centre, and here we have some nice little Jumerals boas who come from Madagascar. Now, Jumerals boas are very nice and easy to work with. A lot of them in captivity, probably more in captivity than in the wild. This shows the importance of the private reptile keeper in the UK, in Europe and the States, that they make a big contribution to the continued existence of these animals. These are covered by CITES legislation, which is the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species. And when these animals get to a certain size, we must put a permanent identification. I'm going to put a little bit of local anaesthetic, a bit like going to the dentist, because the needle is quite big. What we were doing before, we were using this very fine needle and a local anaesthetic and putting it in the side of the neck, because when we put the microchip in, it's actually quite big, the needle, and we'll see it in a moment. And I just think it's a bit mean, so I like to give a little bit of local, because I think when you see the size of the needle, you'll understand why. And can you just see inside there a piece of glass? I'm not sure. Well, the microchip is just there. So this is the tissue glue that we'll be applying after we put the microchip in, just to make sure they don't inadvertently squeeze it out. It is possible, although unlikely. Another little clean. Okay. That angle there. Okay. Then I go gently out. Then I'll put my little tissue glue there. Okay, just let that dry before I put Snaky back. Let's scan it, and we should see. Yep. So the little beak, and there's a whole series of numbers which I'm not going to show you, show we have done the snake correctly. Microchipping has many roles. We use it for identification of dogs and cats. From next year, it's going to be compulsory for all dogs to be microchipped from 2016. In the reptiles, for the endangered species, the microchipping is done so that we can trace where these animals came from, where they're bred in captivity, but also we're looking at the paperwork will show the microchip numbers for the parents and the offspring and through the generations. This is to stop passing things off that's been caught in the wild. We want it so it can be traced back for as far as possible to stop abuse of animals and illegal sourcing of these things. So microchipping is really quite important.
Freshfields Animal Rescue has around 100 cats at its cattery at any one time. And cattery assistant Penny is giving us the tour and introducing us to some of her feline friends.
This is Oreo. She is a lovely young cat. When she came in, she had an eye problem where her eyelid was rubbing on the eyeball, and she needed quite expensive surgery, eye surgery called entropion. And because of the generosity of our supporters, we often have the money to be able to offer cats like this surgery, which is specialist and expensive, but makes their life worthwhile. I mean, sometimes, because you see cats day after day, sometimes you only realise quite how terrible they looked and what a state they were in when you sort of look back to some photographs that you took when they first come in. You think, oh my goodness, they look like that, and look at them now, and yeah. We usually have about sort of 90-ish cats on site, some on site and a few in foster. What happens when a cat comes in is that it's assessed, and we do all the treatment that it needs to be happy and healthy. It's neutered, it's microchipped, it receives any vet treatment that it needs, and a lot of TLC, and the aim of course is to get a cat a lovely, loving, permanent forever home that suits the cat. Oh, every cat has got a fascinating story, haven't you, Jellybean? I mean, this is Jellybean, who came in with her kittens, and quite a lot of cats come in with their kittens, don't you? And all her kittens have now gone to lovely homes, and Jellybean is left, and she's looking for her forever home now. Every cat has a story, and there are so many wonderful stories. We had 2 tiny little kittens that the PDSA asked us to take. They'd been taken in and they were about that big, and their eyes and their face were absolutely gunged up with disgusting cat flu, and we thought they'd lose their eyes. And they needed lots of vet care, lots of TLC. They went into one of our foster families who loved them and looked after them. And a couple of weeks ago, 2 very fluffy, beautiful kittens went together to a home. And it's stories like that that really make our work, makes all the cleaning the litter trays ideal, you know, makes it worthwhile.
Some rehoming centres, such as Dogs Trust, not only help find dogs their forever homes, but also provide lifelong care, training and behavioural support for their residents past and present.
It depends on the individual and really what the owner's expectations are. Training that we do here is all very basic for some, others it's a bit more involved. It may be behaviour modification that we need to put in place. Charlie's just a young dog who needs just the basics really, so it's nice to see him coming on each week and how well he's developing. You know, and recall training is really important because some people do just go and unclip the dogs in the park and let them go. Then obviously they're getting themselves in trouble, they're running out the parks, you know, causing accidents. So recall's really important, but he's been doing a lot of confidence building as well because he's a little bit unsure at times.
I got him from here. He was a puppy, there was 4 brothers, and I've been looking for about 5 weeks. I'd lost my own dog, and we needed another dog, and so I kept looking, and I spotted him, and he came down with my grandson, and he said, "Tap up," and so that's how we come together.
Right, so we've been doing his training for a few weeks now with confidence building, just getting him to stop jumping up, which is still a work in progress. But the recall's one of the main things that we're consistently training at the moment, isn't it? So we'll do some long line work with him. He can't get this wrong, so we're going to really help him to get it right. You've got your rewards ready. We'll pop this on his harness, and it's better to use a harness with your long line instead of the collar, just because it will not jolt on his neck if he does suddenly start to run. I'm going to have this long line on him. I want you to leave it trailing behind you. We're going to teach him to work within a perimeter of you, because he does like to run on to herd, and that's where we've got the issue with him coming back, isn't it? So we need a recall command, we need a release command, and then I normally say just this way to change direction, so he knows in advance you're going to go somewhere different. Okay, so I'll just show you what we're going to do, and then I'll swap over and get you to do it. So, so go on was his release command, wasn't it? Charlie, go on. So he might not go too far because he knows I've got the food, but we want him to go to a set distance, whichever you're comfortable with. For me, I would say that's far enough, because if he starts to focus on other things, you might as well talk to yourself. So just want him to settle and get a little bit of distance. He's not quite sure at the moment. And if you leave that just feeding through your hands, then it saves you wrapping it round your hand and getting caught up. So, Charlie, come. Because he's not really listening, bring him in, and then we're going to reward him. Clever boy. So treat, big fuss. Go on. and off he goes again. So that distance from me, I would say, is enough. Charlie, come. So bring him in. Obviously he's working for you. Good boy. So remember your recall command, because Charlie gets him to go, oh, do you want me? But you need to say, come. So he goes, right, I know exactly what you mean. If he's clear in his little head what you're asking of him, it's going to be less guessing time, because he'll be like, do you want me to come? Do you want me to do something else? But if you say, Charlie, come, he goes, right, I know exactly what I'm meant to do. And that's when we get a quicker recall as well. So get him to come into you when you call him and reward him. Good boy. And off he goes again. Come means be here, not halfway over there thinking about it.
No, I'm happy with what you've done, and he is getting better. Because every week he's saying, and he is being good at home.
Good. I mean, that's the main thing. That's the whole point of his training, isn't it? We're trying to. He's 7 months old now. We just want to make him sort of a model citizen. You know, put the basic training in. If you want to go on in the future, do agility or fly ball or anything like that, you've got the foundation then for building on that.
Before the break, we met Dogs Trust trainer Michelle, who helps owners teach their dogs new tricks. Recall and clicker training can help our four-legged friends learn some great social skills for when they're out and about.
I'm Michelle, I'm the North West Community Training and Behaviour Advisor. Today we're having a consult with Mitzi, who is a young Westie, and she's showing issues with strangers after a couple of bad experiences. So we're going to give her other coping strategies. We're going to introduce clicker training, as this can be very confidence building, as it marks the appropriate behaviour and we reinforce it with whatever Mitzi finds reinforcing. The good thing about clicker training is it is an event marker, so we can be more precise than just saying good girl or well done. So it's clearer to Mitzi what it is we're expecting of her, and that will speed her learning. So we're just going to keep doing this for a couple of minutes because we need her to understand that click means food. See? That's fine, just click, that's it. So click and then feed. Good, lovely. So she looked at the food, but then she looked back at you, so that was brilliant. Okay, and again. Okay, so what I want you to do now is just ask her for behaviours that you know she already knows. So we're just going to reinforce that. So if she can do sit, then ask for sit. But as soon as her bum touches the floor, you're going to click and you're going to feed her.
Sit, Miss.
So if you use the food, okay. What does she know?
Because I fuss her all the time.
What?
Sit down.
So if we,
Yeah, good girl.
so what I would say with the sit, because kind of her association with sit is you saying sit then pushing a bum down. So because we're changing that slightly, what I would say is you're using the food just above her head, so therefore we're giving her a hand signal. So once we've got her doing it off that, several repetitions off that hand signal, that's when I'd add sit back in.
Okay.
Because at the moment sit just means I'll push your bum down and she doesn't think about it for herself. Don't forget to click. So click as the behaviour happens, and then your reward comes after that. So if she sits, bum goes down, you click, and then you feed. Okay?
Can I go with the kid?
No, so you need to ask her to do it first. Good, that's it. That's it. So the click marks the behaviour. So as she sits, bum touches the floor, click. That's exactly what we wanted you to do, Mitzi. There's your treat. Okay, you can have a go. I think, yeah, she's going to be practicing on you. So let's have you just mooching around here a little bit. Just be mindful there's people coming down that path with the dogs. So just as if you were out and you're going to get her attention, then you're going to get to sit, click and then treat. Good. Yeah. She's very quick though, she picked that up really well. A lot of people go, oh, that's a lot of treats, but we're not going to just feed her all the time forever now. We just need to teach her new behaviours and make sure we're reinforcing it. That's it.
Over at Village Vets, Alan has a parrot in need of some help with its beak, following an electrical accident.
Right, my name's Alan Humphreys at Village Vets in Liverpool. We've got a little orange-wing Amazon parrot, which has got a bit of a problem with its bill. So we're going to get this bird out. Now, it's a nice bird, but it's going to be very noisy. Orange-wing Amazons are noisy. They're very good at escaping. Right. So we're going to use a towel. Now, we use a towel because it's safer than using gloves, because you can't hurt the bird inadvertently. Now, that noise is normal I'm an annoyed parrot noise. Doesn't mean we're doing anything particularly nasty. We're just making sure you don't do any pressure on little birdie. And you can see how the beak's gone a bit weird. This is quite an old bird, and this is probably from an electrical injury before we had the newer types of fuse boxes. So we're going to trim off the beak. So when we do this, we make sure we don't do it too hard. The little birdie will look a lot better. And we'll do this bit. Now it's worth having a little close look at this beak here. If we see here, see that? That's not an unusual for an electrocution injury before we had the newer fuse boxes. Take a bit more off. It's normal shape. You probably won't need to do this again for another 6 or 8 months. That's a bit painful. Okay, right, little birdie, home time. In you go. We've done this conscious because the bird's used to it, and as long as you're calm and you don't hang around, they're fine. Right, we'll put little birdie down here, well, over here, so it's nice and quiet.
There are thousands of dogs in the UK without homes, and today Dogs Trust cares for more than 16,000 stray and abandoned dogs every year at their rehoming centres throughout the UK. The Merseyside Centre currently has over 50 dogs looking for their forever homes. 2 of these doggies looking for their new families are Lurcher Cross Greengrass and his mini-me Bertie.
My name's Vicky, this is Bertie. He's a 2-year-old Whippet Cross Bedlington Terrier. Bertie can be quite a shy boy, so really he needs someone that's going to help him gain his confidence. He's only a young boy and quite active, so I prefer a home with someone around most of the day, and with children probably over 8 because he does jump up quite a bit when he gets excited. Yeah, Bertie came in because there's a problem with another dog in the home, so we do think he'd be better as the only dog. He is lovely and he walks happily with the dogs out and about, but he just wants his own space with a family just for himself. He can be quite anxious. He does need someone there. He does get very worried when he's left alone, so he would need a gradual introduction to being left. But he's a very bright boy, very intelligent, and would just love to be out and about on walks. This is Greengrass. He is a 3 to 5 year old lurcher that unfortunately came into the centre as a stray, so we don't have much history for him, but we all absolutely love him here. As we haven't got a lot of background for him, we think that it's better with a home where there's someone there so we can get some training done with him, maybe house training. And we're not sure quite how happy he is to be left, so someone that can spend a lot of time with him. As you can see, he absolutely loves food, so training will be really easy with him. He's a very friendly dog, likes everybody that he meets, but he does like the sound of his own voice, so a little bit of training needs to be done with that, but he's very bright. Yet Dogs Trust provide full behavioural support for the rest of the dog's life. We'll also fully assess them when they come in, so we can give you a good idea of their temperament if they come in as a stray. They just need to get in touch with Dogs Trust, so they can either come down to the centre every day apart from Wednesday, that's our closed day, and between 12 and 4. They can have a look on the website, which is www.dogstrust.org.uk, or give us a ring on 0151 480 0660.